Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of Frail Conversations. Today, I'm gonna be talking about sperm health. Of course, it's gonna probably go into other things, but I'm definitely gonna be talking about sperm health. So, this conversation came out. I was having a random conversation with somebody, and we touched up on an article about sperm health and about how it's declining in men. Um, and she was right. Like it's definitely declining in men. It's a whole different ball game. But there's extra levels to it. So um I have a previous Frail conversation on semen retention, and these two are kind of gonna go hand in hand with each other. But for the sake of where my mind is and for the sake of, all that was spoken on, sperm health is what the topic of this one is gonna be. And it's gonna have some similarities. It's the semen retention, but it's gonna be a slight variation. I know for a fact it's different because sperm and semen are different. Go figure. You feel what I'm saying? And this is just from a perspective of the scientific aspect of it. Like as a forensic biologist, one of the biggest things that we studied was because it was crime analysis and biology fluids. We studied blood and semen, blood, semen, and sperm. That was pretty much the bodily fluids we studied the most. So it was a clear distinction between semen and sperm. Like sperm is found in semen, but semen doesn't always hold sperm. You dig what I'm saying? Semen is the actual fluid in which sperm has to move through. Sperm is the individual sex cell that comes from the man with the XY chromosome package. You feel me? it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. You feel me? So so this episode I want to talk about sperm health because it's tied to other health factors that we have within us as men. Um, and there's things that we don't really talk about, and it's not because we don't want to talk about them. We just don't be knowing. There's a lot of shit I've learned in my adult life that I was supposed to fucking know as a teenager. There's a lot of shit that would have saved me a lot of heartache, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and fucked up energy if I would have just known as a teenager certain shit about men. You feel me? All I learned was physical shit, not mental, not spiritual, not biological. There's biological shit about a man that we're supposed to fucking know. And it's not just, we can't leave it in the hands of teachers. We can't leave it in the hands of quote unquote educators because they have to follow a curriculum. And that curriculum means that you could only teach within the parameters of this, what this is supposed to be. So there's a lot of things that I've learned in college, that I've learned in like undergrad, master's, medical school, that was not available for a middle school or high school student that would have been viable to under fucking stand. You feel what I'm saying? Especially during the puberty aspects and everything like that. But then again, at the same time, the fact that so many of those levels were untapped and unreached is problematic. So when it comes to sperm health, I feel like personally, that's something that we need to know as men. We need to know what it is to have healthy sperm, what it is to keep sperm healthy, what things are, most important for your sperm. You feel me? And if you listening to this episode and right now you've already said pause 4 times, cut the shit off. Just cut the shit off. Don't even fucking listen. Like you're not supposed to be here. Get the fuck on. Like if you said pause, no homo, if you said that, if you even thought it, get the fuck out. Bye. 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 Like that shit annoys me. I hate hearing that shit. Like motherfuckers my age, older, still saying pause. Like why are you thinking gay shit? Like, but that's beside the fact. But I know that this is a episode that sperm health is very, very important because at this point in our lives, we don't know the power that sperm has. And then I'm gonna get into a little bit of pregnancies too, and from that side. But my brothers, I really want us to tighten up on our sperm health because by proxy, if we work on our sperm health, our physical health changes as well. And if you look at life from the perspective of if I maintain the quality, like look at your life as a fruit. No, look at your physical, your entire being as a fruit. And I am a fruit that holds a seed, right? What do I need to make sure my seed is the best to produce another fruit like me? You dig what I'm saying? If you look at an apple tree that doesn't produce any apples, or the apples that it produces are very, small, they don't have good nutrients or anything like that, you will look at that apple tree as a bad apple tree, would you not? You wouldn't want to plant that again. When you look at the Florida plate, what is it? The Florida oranges, they have like, I ain't gonna say it's a vineyard because that's grapes, but y'all know what I mean. And it ain't really a farm, but orchids, that's what it is, the orchards. So when you look at an orchard, right, there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of fucking orange trees. And on these orange trees, the leaves are fucking like the darkest, most vibrant green. The oranges are so fucking perfect. They're sweet, they're juicy. You feel me? The seed within that manifests itself out of the quality of how the soil has nitrogen in it, all of the other shit goes with it. And the seed has the same care and the same touch as the actual tree, as the actual fruit that is growing and bearing off of it, right? But before I add more to that, be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Just Seen Podcast. Be sure to check out my website at iamjustseen.com to get all things that are just seen. To all who tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of your podcast. Not this episode, but the podcast itself. Cash App and PayPal are just fine. With that being said, that's that for this and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into So Frail Conversations, Sperm Health. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit iamjustseen.com. There you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So Frail series to your library? Visit iamjustseen.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit iamjustseen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit iamjustseen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit iamjustseen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit iamjustseen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at iamjustseen.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit iamjustseen.com. All right. Welcome back. And without further ado, let's get it started. So to pick up off where I left off at, where I was talking about the seeds and everything like that, like if we look at like an orchard, and I keep saying orchid because it's motherfucking, they're like right there and shit spelling, but an orchard, which is crazy because the English language, like that same sequence, OCH, has the k sound for orchid, but it has a ch sound for orchard. But anyway, English is retarded. You feel me? But when we look at the seeds, where I left off at with that was that, when you look at the actual fruit and the before the fruit, you look at the tree, right? The tree is the quality of where the fruit has to grow, right? Where the fruit has to fucking grow. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like the trees are vibrant. They're the luscious green, as they say. The pastures, the sun be hitting them just right. The trees, the bark is like solid and sturdy. You know what I'm saying? It's very firm. When you look at the soil is very nitrogenous. It has a lot of nutrients recycled into it. So it's a lot of care there. And then when you look at the actual fruit, the fruit themselves, they carry the same consistency of now I don't want to get into some of those GMOs, some of the, like, fuck that. Let's stick to the core of fucking farming and the shit of what it is. Fuck the GMO shit, fuck all of the modified shit. Let's look at what it is, right? So when growing these oranges, it's like these oranges come out of a certain quality so well that the abundance of positive qualities are enough that these people have made a business out of it, out of the farming aspect of these oranges, to sell enough of the same quality of that. What came out that was bad is not, it's not, you know what I mean? It's irrelevant, to where it's like, we had, say, 3,000 bad oranges, but we produced 10 million good ones. You dig what I mean? And that's because the health of the actual tree led to the vibrancy of the actual fruit, which then ultimately led to the power and the potency of the seed, because that one seed now goes back into the ground of that same fucking orchard, and potentially that same orchard, and it now regrows a new tree to repeat the exact thing that the other trees are doing, to repeat it and be in the same quality, to produce the same quality of fruit, right? And I'm using that because now we tie sperm health into this reality. You know, I'm gonna be guilty of this one, and I'm gonna go ahead and admit my fault of this right here because I smoke. You feel what I'm saying? And after this episode, I'm damn sure really gonna put a lot more intention into stopping, because I cannot be a walking contradiction and be talking about sperm health, knowing this affects sperm health. Although I'm not in the active space of creating a child right now, I still at the same time need to make sure that I'm on point. So this episode will be very, very important to me on a different level. But I'm gonna be, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not absolving myself of that shit, but I'm going to admit that part to it, that I am not doing what I'm saying fully, right? So now when we look at what damages the sperm, already since I opened that door, I'm gonna talk about smoking, right? Smoking definitely damages sperm cells, but we got to understand why. We got to understand why. Sometimes it's not just enough to know that. You got to know why. You got to know how. You know, and a lot of the things that we do as far as, smoking, this is just not any kind of this is any kind of smoke. To be honest with you, it's not like school will have you believing that cigarette smoke, nicotine or whatever, it just affects your lungs, and then they want to get you to marijuana smoke, it affects you so much more. It's like, look, all smoke inhalation is bad. That's what the problem is, like the real problem. It's the smoke inhalation. That's where the damage comes from. It doesn't matter what the smoke is. If you inhale smoke, it's bad for your body. That's what people really like. You know what I'm saying? You send a fireman into a burning building and shit, he can't go secure another fire after his lungs have healed and he has drunk mullion and he has done certain things that'll clear his lungs back out before he can go back to work. I don't know why motherfuckers will be really trying to say shit like that, like, because you can't breathe that shit in. It doesn't matter. It's the smoke inhalation that gives you the red eyes. It's the smoke inhalation that damages the different aspects of your body. And the biggest aspect of it is because as you're inhaling the smoke, and this is gonna sound so much, it makes it sound so much worse that I know this shit and still smoke. But as you inhale the smoke, what it's doing is, for one, is deoxygenating your body. Your sperm needs oxygen to be able to be viable, to be motile, which is what makes them swim. You feel what I'm saying? It needs to be oxygenated. Oxygenation has to be able to fully run through your entire body. And for one, it circulates through your lungs and everything. However, when you have the smoke inhalation, what you are now taking in is carbon monoxide, right? Carbon monoxide, in addition to the carbon dioxide that's already in your body that you have to release, right? So now with the deoxygenated body, your body has to work twice as hard, because not only does it have to release carbon dioxide, now it has to convert the carbon monoxide in some way, shape, or form to carbon dioxide. Carbon monoxide is one carbon to one oxygen. Carbon dioxide is one carbon to two oxygens, right? So in order to convert carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide, you need to take free oxygen that is supposed to be running through your body, right? This creates two things. That free oxygen that is running through your body, which is O2, it now has to split apart and bind to the carbon monoxide in order to create carbon dioxide to be released from your body. That free oxygen, that O2 that was broken off, creates an O1, which becomes a free radical that runs through your body. All of this shit is so fucking bad, man. Damn. I'm glad this episode was sparked. But so now your sperm is now depleted. The oxygen levels in your body are now depleted. You can go outside all day long and, sit, like, that'll compensate. Don't get me wrong. That'll compensate, like being out in the fresh air all the time and, getting your oxygen, but you're still smoking. So in that smoke, it is still now damaging the oxygen transport of nutrients. So now, because it's damaging the oxygen, right, it now affects the blood. The blood is the transporter. Blood is how we transport most of our nutrients in our body. The body is like 60 to 70% water and shit. So everything that moves through the body, all nutrients have to travel through the water system, quote unquote, which is the blood flow, right? We have blood and lymph for the most part, you know, membranes and shit. But most of the water that we have is either going to be divided into blood or lymph. Blood is what transports the nutrients and shit around in our body. Lymph is what helps clean our body out, right? It's what helps cleans our body out. Lymph is not important for this conversation right now, but the blood is. I just wanted to talk about lymph because of the water. You can look it up in your own time, right? So as the blood flows, it has to maneuver and flow through to get to transport the nutrients to where they're supposed to be, right? So as the nutrients are moving through the blood, with on the hemoglobins and all that shit, what the haberdasheries and hemoglobins? My bad, y'all. I'm focused for real. But as the blood is moving, it's carrying nutrients, right? Specific nutrients that we're supposed to have as men in our body are zinc, and as far as semen, as far as sperm cells, are zinc and selenium. Right, our bodies need zinc and selenium, which is crazy as shit because, for one, not many people tell you where to get selenium or zinc from. Not only that, if you take a one a day, a multivitamin, they don't give you your full content, right? And because they don't give you your full content, what's going to happen is when your body has to produce the sperm cells, like, because every cell in our body is regenerative, but we need nutrients to regenerate it to the maximum capacity. This is why I was saying about, I made the example and the metaphor with the orchard. If your soil is not good, if you don't have the right nutrients in your soil, your tree can't pull those nutrients out to produce the best fruit. Therefore, seeds are going to be tainted ultimately, off rip. You feel what I'm saying? So it starts with what's available. So the fact that most male diets lack zinc and selenium, right? And in addition to that conversation that I was having with the lady, you know, we also talked about how shit made me forget my thought. Fuck. Okay, so in addition to talking about the sperm health, we also talk about like testosterone and how testosterone levels have been reduced and everything, because like our hormones, everything is fucked up with us for men. They have put so much estrogen. People don't pay attention to this shit. Like, they have put so much soy in shit, and then by proxy of putting soy in plastic and shit, what happens is it has put estrogen, high estrogen levels in our body, which have started to reduce our testosterone. So in addition to not getting our zinc and not getting our selenium, our testosterone levels are being reduced as well. So that also plays effect into the health of our sperm. I get into why when I talk about a little bit later. But this is the biggest aspect of what is really happening to us. You feel what I'm saying? Over the years, over the last, let me see, I was going to say 30 years because I'm thinking 70s and I'm born in the 90s and shit. But no, over the last, at this point, 50 years. So over the last 50, 60 years, like, the decline has happened as far as men's sperm health and been dropping. But there's a connection between men's sperm health dropping, testosterone levels going down, the bass of a man's voice has been going down. It's like so many different dynamics that have been played out, because what happens is it's all based off of the sperm health. Muscle mass isn't the same. Like, everything is starting to deteriorate. The fruit is getting worse and worse as the years go on, because the seed is getting worse and worse as the years go on, simply because the tree is not getting the nutrients or absorbing the nutrients it's supposed to. All metaphorically, of course, motherfucker, you the tree, your nuts is the motherfucking seed, and the fruit is your generation afterwards. But it starts with our sperm health. You feel me? If we want our generation to be more vibrant, more healthy, we need to understand our health a lot better. We need to understand sperm health from the beginning to the end and understand more about it. So like I was saying, the zinc and selenium levels have greatly been reduced. You know, where would somebody get zinc and selenium from? You feel me? That is a question that most motherfuckers, if a man does not know where to get zinc and selenium from, it's like, damn, bro, like, what do you, like, do you get zinc and selenium? Well, I take a multivitamin. What's in that motherfucker? You feel me? I don't know. Everybody worries about the same shit so much when they talk about health, and make sure you're getting protein for muscle mass. Fuck that. Your muscle mass would come more if you had testosterone in your body. Produce more testosterone. Stop relying on protein. Start worrying about how to get more testosterone in your body, which is a hormone, which means hormones are more transmuted according to you to having lipids in your body, right? The right cholesterols. You need the right lipids. You need fluid lipids because your body is a fluid being. All of the lipids and all of the shit that, oh, you need cholesterol, so eat eggs. The fuck? You have to cook an egg and egg is solid. The fuck? Get your cholesterol from a liquid-based form, which is a lipid. If you get your correct cholesterols from a lipid-based form, that lipid now converts and gives you the proper hormones. This is just the basic biology, but it's not basic. And it is basic biology in the context of biology, but it's not basic in the sense of, the average person, because people stay away from this shit because it's too hard. It's too complex. I got to memorize too much. None of that. Fuck that. If this is your motherfucking body, if this is your fucking health that is at stake, you need to thoroughly understand this shit. You feel me? It's no mystery why, when it's all said and done, the biggest aspect to why we can't produce the things we're supposed to do is because of ignorance. Clear and plain. That's the bulk of what a lot of this shit is. The fact that we have, the fact that we just don't have the know-how or the wherewithal for what we're supposed to know. You feel what I'm saying? So when we get to the lipids and shit, understanding of what a lipid is and how to actually break it down and where to get them from, that will start the testosterone level, which automatically can offset a lot of the fucked up shit that we have, and it'll help with our development. Some of us ain't gonna develop properly because our puberty stage, when we were supposed to have that full transition, we had limited resources. We had limited resources and our body could only do what it was supposed to do. So a lot of us didn't develop fully. You feel me? A lot of us didn't develop fully, which in turn, if we know that we physically didn't develop fully, then we physically didn't develop fully. And as far as like, the bass in the voice, the muscle mass and shit like that is like a lot of the generation as teenagers, they're tiny. Like this shit started in my generation. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit was crazy. It's like, damn, like why are the boys not bulking up like that? There was a time when motherfuckers were just naturally built. You know what I'm saying? Again, within the last 50 years, you've seen this shit. Motherfuckers are just naturally built. And now motherfuckers just naturally small voices are more high pitched and shit like that. What are they doing? What are they doing? They are depleting the nutrients to make sure that the boys are not producing properly. The girls aren't either, but this is so frail conversation. So this is about us, and it's about, ultimately going to get the sperm health. So if we're not getting the right things within our diets and we're not eating the right things accordingly, our testosterone levels are depleted. So by proxy, we're looking at zinc levels and selenium levels that are very low. You feel me? The safest levels of zinc and the safest places in my position that I'm always going to say to get the zinc and selenium from are plant sources. You know what I mean? But because I have yet to find anybody who can show me a meat source of zinc. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm like, yo, so where you get zinc from? And a lot of men don't know like that they're supposed to have zinc in their bodies. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, why not? You feel me? And they're like, well, I don't know anything about it. And it's like, how don't you know anything about it? This is your shit. Like you have this, but you don't know what you don't know. There's the unknown unknowns. You know what I'm saying? So zinc is one of those that you can get, like, contrary to what people think. And it's funny as shit. Like I never understood why I ate these motherfuckers so much. Like the thing about your body is when it needs something and it knows where it can get it from, it will crave it for you. I talk about this in Hitting It Raw, Living a Raw Plant-Based Lifestyle for Life. But like when there's a craving, when a craving hits you, it's because your body knows, it has biologically identified and made a database of, this right here is a nutrient that I lack, and I know I can get it from here. You feel what I'm saying? Sunflower seeds hold zinc. Sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, they hold zinc. And peanuts too. You're going to get them a lot from the nut family. You know what I'm saying? It's ironic. The health of your nuts comes from nuts. You feel me? But if you're taking them in, right, and you're getting it, it will give you what you need. So your body is gonna give you it's gonna give you. I'm sorry, it just happened to give the right balance for the shit, right? So adding that. Pause. Nah, but adding that to what your body needs with the zinc, right? So as I was saying, when your body is craving a certain thing, what it's going to do is going to send the in the database. It's going to say, okay, I have to crave this food because the craving. I did this thing where I broke down cravings, flavors, and taste, right? The taste buds respond a certain way. That's five, and they create a database of the particular flavor that they just tasted, which is the combination of however these taste buds are triggered. That is also associated with the nutrient content that helps make it, because all of the nutrient content is basically based upon the periodic table, and the periodic table combines elements a certain way. So when these elements are combined a certain way, they give off a taste, and that taste associates with a particular flavor. I mean, yeah, it hits a taste bud a certain way, but then it's associated with the flavor for the biological database to say, when I need this, crave it, right? So the point that I was making, that knowing now, what I know now is like how, deprived of zinc, the body was, or whatever the case might be. I ate sunflower seeds like a motherfucker. Sunflower seeds have zinc in them. You feel me? I would run through a whole 2 bags of sunflower seeds. Lips would be salted in a motherfucker. And that was the bad part about it. And this is how you know the food system is so trash. Because in order to prevent it at the same time, like, they'll put the shit that you can actually use and they'll fuck it up. Feel me? Sunflower seeds shouldn't be salty. Shouldn't have ranch on them, barbecue, none of that other goofy shit. It should just be a sunflower seed. You feel what I'm saying? A raw sunflower seed. So it's like when you put the salt in the shit, now your body levels are they're oversaturated with salt, right? But you got the zinc, but at the same time, it's still oversaturated with salt. So it's like a person. It's like a chemical imbalance that they're purposely doing. But anyway, I used to eat sunflower seeds like a motherfucker. Never knew why. But now I understand, like, when I did crave sunflower seeds, my body needed zinc. I was not getting any zinc at all. Didn't know it because I didn't even know what the fuck zinc was. You feel what I'm saying? This is never, no disrespect or any slight to my mom or anything like that, because you don't know what you don't know. But now that I'm old, I realized I grew up a malnourished kid. I was always fed, and that's what people miss. Like, people think just because you're fed all the time that you're nourished. No, nourishment is derived from the nutrients that you're getting. You have to get all nutrients abundantly. I ate a meal every night. I ate breakfast every morning, lunch, all of that. We always ate. But at the same time, what was the nutrient content? You feel me? The nutrient content was what was lacking. Like, we didn't know what nutrients we were supposed to have. You feel me? We didn't know what nutrients was that. There's 92 out of 102 elements that sea moss has. You could take sea moss too as an alternative to get your zinc and your selenium. But there's 92 out of 102. Your body needs 102 elements. These 102 elements are all elements of the periodic table. That is your hydrogen, your helium, your lithium, your zinc, your carbon, your sulfur, your oxygen, your fucking, I know so many of them, but I don't, lithium, fucking magnesium, manganese. The periodic table is something that you need to know. So simultaneously, you need to understand science and biology. You need to understand chemistry and biology. You need to understand all of the shit that is in your body to be able to thoroughly understand what's happening. You know what I mean? We know lithium goes in batteries, but why don't we know that it goes in our body? You feel me? We know that iron rusts, but why don't we know that iron is what makes our blood red? We need all of this shit. You feel what I'm saying? We need all of this shit thoroughly. Specifically, zinc and selenium. Those are 2 elements on the periodic table that men need in their bodies. But we're not getting it. We don't know where to get it. As far as selenium, another aspect of that, Brazil nuts is very, very powerful and again, a lot of the shit for our nuts comes from nuts. I don't know I don't know which came first, the name nuts or the joke nuts, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how it worked, but the shit goes with our nuts. Figs and dates, they're also good. Very, very good. Especially dates, jewel dates. They are good in selenium as well too. And they're shaped like fucking nuts, bro. Like figs, and they're shaped just like fucking testicles. You feel me? So it's like the universe has this thing of saying, look, if you want to know where to get the shit from, here's what it's going to look like. It's going to look like something on you. Weird shit. I'm telling you. Like, if you look at where we get our oxygen from, well, it ain't weird shit. I know it's not. But like, when you look at our oxygen levels and shit, the way leaves are drawn out. Like, if you find a leaf plucked or whatever the case may be, the network of the way the the stem branches off does the same thing that the lung capacity does, like as far as how it looks. So it kind of gives as above, so below, as within, so without, a new term. But a lot of the shit like our zinc and our selenium are gonna come from nuts, figs, and dates for the most part. Like, and all of that shit, it's nuts. It's shaped just it's you feel me? It's what it is. But the point that I'm making with that is like getting into the nutrient content and actually having it is where your body starts to crave it. You feel me? Once your body gets exposed to the nutrient, it stores it forever. And when you crave something, you crave it because your body lacks a nutrient. Like I use this example because it's one of the easiest ones to use. Like when women are on their menstrual cycle, why do they crave chocolate? Not only why do they crave chocolate, but why has the chocolate company infused chocolate with both iron and calcium? You feel me? Science is science and it's powerful and motherfuckers need to know it. But when a woman's on her cycle, this is one of the reasons why she cramps and this is one of the reasons why she bleeds. Because when she's on her cycle, what's happening to her is that she's losing blood. We all know that. But then she's having contractions in her abdomen. She's very, very painful. What helps to offset that is having an abundance of calcium and abundance of iron in the body, because that is what she's losing the most of. You feel what I'm saying? And when women are on their cycles and it's happening, they say, I want something sweet. Typically, they want to go for chocolate. But chocolate is the flavor that they now crave, because underneath that, the biological perspective is what they have learned to mask with that is the aspect of the calcium and iron, knowing that their body is deprived from that. And I know this is so frail conversations, but I'm using women as an example because as men, we don't acknowledge our cycles. You feel what I'm saying? So we don't know what it is that we crave monthly that is like, yo, I'm deprived. I'm losing this shit right now. It's like, you know what? I just know that I'm emotional right now and I don't need to be emotional. I don't need to be like, we have our cycles too, because the cycle, the monthly cycle, women's is easily identifiable because they bleed or whatever the case may be. Ours is not because we don't do shit. But we also have cycles too. You know why? Because the cycle is chronicled by the fucking moon. 28 fucking days. The phase of the moon, and the moon affects the water. The water affects the blood. The water is in the blood. Like our body is 60 to 70% water. You don't think the fucking moon is going to affect that? Biology and science will tell you that the moon affects the tides of the water. High tide, low tide, because the moon affects fucking water. So it has to affect the blood. And in affecting the blood, it also is going to affect what transports hormones, because hormones have to move through the blood and go through the body. All of this shit is tied to the universal connection as a whole. But we don't know. So anywho, when we have our cycles as men, most times what we're lacking is, and this ties into it, because when women, using women as the example, they were likely to lose iron. They're likely to lose calcium. And in losing the iron and the calcium or whatever the case may be, their estrogen levels are off. They get emotional. You feel me? Sad. Like they get femininely emotional. You feel me? So the emotions that are more so receptive, receptive, receiving and shit. Those are the emotions that they lose control over. For men, we lose zinc and we lose selenium when we have our cycles. Now, here's what's fucked up. We already don't have zinc and selenium in our bodies. You feel me? Our testosterone levels, that's the hormone that is fucked up with us when we're on our cycle. And our hormone is fucked up because, and everything that is associated with giving, the giving feelings and emotions of giving, because they're masculine, or whatever the case may be, So according to our monthly cycles, our testosterone levels are going to be fucked up. That's why we just be so angry for nothing. You feel me? You just be like, everything somebody do, you just want to spaz on them. You want to fight. You want to beat. That's why. But at the same time, this is why when women are on their cycle, they just want to be held. When we're on our cycle, we want to fuck shit up because shit is fucked up for us. Our testosterone levels are off and we're losing zinc and selenium that we already don't have. Where our shit escapes, I don't fucking know. I can't even give you, but I'm going to give you more aspects as to why we're so depleted with it. But the zinc and selenium are very, very impactful, because now what happens is, where is our body drawing on this stuff from if we don't have it? Really sit and think about that shit. You feel me? Yeah, we don't cramp. Yeah, we don't we don't cramp, we don't bleed or whatever the case may be, but what do we do? Do we just randomly get lethargic? You feel me? In our anger and our agitation, do we lose focus? You feel what I mean? Do we not know how to like do we get that feeling of wanting to do something but not knowing what the fuck to do? You feel what I'm saying? All of those are tied to zinc, selenium, and testosterone. Nobody's gonna tell you that shit. Nobody's know because honestly, I don't think many motherfuckers know because the gatekeepers keep this shit away. Because if you know this, you don't need to like. I can't tell you to. I can't like. This is one of the reasons why when we look at we're staying on sperm health too, but when we look at how statistically they know that between the ages of 50 to 60, you need to start getting your prostate checked. Do you know why? Because at that age, men's prostate, that shows that there's a consistent cycle that they know something about that you don't. That means your prostate health deteriorates, and around this age, it's going to die. That's when it's going to be its weakest. And it's like, yo, let's, you know, and now we're at a point where this shit is happening to us a lot faster. There's no reason why dudes 30 years old should have erectile dysfunction. Dudes my age have erectile dysfunction. I'm like, bruh, how? You feel me? You feel me? Like I made a post one time, because I period when I was on that page, I periodically jot gems and all of the shit that I was talking about. So I told my brother, like, yeah, y'all start strengthening your pelvic floor. Because that's one of the reasons why you don't have, because your pelvic floor isn't strong again. I was like, y'all laugh when women always talking about doing Kegels to snatch this. Oh, men, you should do Kegels too. Why? Because the pelvic muscles are what they're tightening. That's it. We have a pelvis too. The fuck? It's just our pelvis is different. Women have a different setup of a pelvis. We have one too. So if we strengthen our floor, then what happens is during the erection, there's not so much overstimulation of the pudendal nerve. The pudendal nerve is the orgasm nerve, or it's the erection nerve. It is the nerve that is stimulated that gives you the erection, right? But when you overstimulate a nerve for so long and there's no backup to it, the muscle has to be overcompensated. But if the muscle is weak, then there's less tension, there's less innervation that the nerve has to have. Like, think about it. If you can bench press 350 pounds, right? 150 pounds ain't gonna do, it ain't gonna work you out. It ain't gonna do nothing for you. Therefore, it's not gonna stimulate the nerve according to how it is. However, when you don't work out at all and those muscles have atrophied, and then you try to go to 350, you're gonna break yourself because now you have to overstimulate the nerve just to try to compensate. But the limit has far been reached and surpassed to the point where you cannot compensate for that. You cannot compensate for that deficit. That shit is what's happening with erectile dysfunction. It's deeper than, I'm gonna get into the food side of it, the Henny and all of that other shit. And it's like, it's deeper than that part because it's actually a weak pelvic floor. And you're honestly on some real shit. The bigger your motherfucking stomach is, the weaker your pelvic floor is. Do you know why? Because the pelvic floor sits at the base, but it's also all of the muscle structures are still connected. Your abdomens, your front abs, your transverse abs, your oblique abdominals. That whole core area, it ain't just the six pack. The fuck? That's what's wrong. Motherfuckers just I gotta have a six pack and shit. So they work the six pack for so long. They don't work the core. They don't work the transverse abdominis muscles. They don't work the oblique abdominis muscles. They don't work the erector spinae muscles, the ones that are in the back. That's why a lot of motherfuckers have back problems. They don't work the gluteus the gluteus minimus. That is important. That's the little butt muscles. The gluteus minimus, the piriformis muscles, all of these muscles that run through the back of the spine it needs to be strengthened too, right? So when you have that big ass stomach, all of that weight is shifted to the front of your body. Now you have to overcompensate for your lower back muscles, right? The lower back muscles, the transverse abdominis muscles, they all have to kick in. Your glutes, all of your glutes are now having to compensate for that shit. Your pelvic floor has no power because everything is innervated around the same type of nerves. So when that happens, there's no pelvic floor structure. And we're going to get back to sperm health, but this is important. There's no pelvic structure. So in that, when your penis gets hard, penis has weight to it. A penis has weight to it. relatively. So when it's hard to, in order to stay up, those muscles have been in contraction. That nerve has to be stimulated and innervated. You're not going to stay up that long if you don't have a strong pelvic floor. The muscle burns itself out. It's literally the same as when you atrophy your shit and you try to go to the gym and picked up where the fuck you left off. I ain't got it no more because I have not been continually strengthening what makes that hold up. When the penis gets hard, all of these muscles are simultaneously contracting. However, because it's so many muscles at one time contracting, it doesn't appear like all of them are doing the work. But when muscles start to atrophy, because of the way in which we're eating and the way in which we live in our bodies, it's not going to allow the motherfucker to stay up. It's going to stay up for enough time to at least to penetrate, but the overstimulation is what leads to the quick orgasm. It's simple. So now, the reason why I said that, because the erectile dysfunction, orgasm's quick. The orgasms that we're having is one of the number one things that is tied to our sperm health. Because as I said, semen and sperm are different. Sperm is the actual cell. Semen is the transporter of the cells. You feel what I'm saying? They both derive from the prostate, seminal fluids, and all of that other shit, right? But all of this now goes hand in hand. As I said, and when I mentioned the point about doctors know between 50 and 60, you need to have your prostate checked. They know you fucked up. All of these, they know they fucked up. We have men that by at a certain age, you have a belly that looks like we all look the fucking same as the years go on. How? It is the same system, same template, because the healthcare system, the reason why it's a system, because it has something that is designed to work, and it's your nutrition, is what you're putting in your fucking body. And as men, what we're putting in our body is directly a reflection, and it's affected within our sperm, right? So when our sperm is no good, it's because our physical trees, our bodies are no good, which means it's hard for us to produce the fruit. So the fruit that we're producing gets worse and worse and worse as the generations go. Hey, huddle up, broskies, because it's time to elevate. The secret to evolving masculinity is to define it, understand it, then apply it. The Frail series defines masculinity as the spiritual, mental, and physical embodiment of the essence of analysis and deconstruction. From this definition, I explain how masculinity is not just the hat that we wear, but it's the essence that we must exude through application. If you enjoy the Frail conversations, why not read the books that inspired them? Visit IamJustSeen.com right now to add the Frail series to your library to get a better understanding of what masculinity really is. I promise, after reading Frail, you will never look at masculinity the same again. We got to stop this shit and break this cycle now about strengthening the quality of our sperm. Our sperm has to get better. So in addition to that, like I was saying with the zinc and the selenium and shit, when we're on our monthly cycles, our body is now depleting zinc and selenium that we already don't have in our bodies. Where do you think it pulls it from? Where do you think the body pulls the zinc and selenium that it needs? What little bit it has? It pulls it from our hair. Directly from our scalp. And we be thinking, oh, this is pattern baldness. This is hereditary. No, the habitual habit that led to that shit is what is hereditary. You feel what I'm saying? And it happens younger and younger and younger and younger because our bodies are not relying and getting, like, hair is developed from keratin, right? But men, in order for our hair to continue to grow and thrive, we still need zinc and selenium. Not just the protein. We need the zinc and selenium too, because the shit goes hand in hand. The actual science behind that, I don't know that in depth like I want to talk about it right now, so I'm not gonna open that door. You feel what I'm saying? But there's a direct correlation between the zinc and the selenium, right? So much so that the more sex you have or the more orgasms you have at a time, the more likely your hair is to thin out. I'm proof of that. I am proof of that. Did I know I was going to be proof of that? Fuck no. Because again, you don't know what you don't know when you was a kid. I did a lot of fucking in my life. Right? And when I had, man, I promise you, I had a lush, full of head full of hair. Fuck, I used to have hair down my shoulders and shit. Cause I used to have braids. Then when I cut the braids off, I got the waves and shit. Lush, full of hair. Lush, like my shit was luxurious than a motherfucker, right? I miss those days. But now that I'm older, I realize what happened, right? Now, as I said, I did a lot of fucking in my day. Like I just, hey, It was crazy. And then on top of that, I started early, right? Which is another thing there, this is another thing that I'm gonna get to as far as, sperm health. So with all of the fucking that I was doing, I was never told like, don't be busting off. Now, in my first ages, like as a kid or whatever, like between like 13ish and maybe like 15. For that time, I wasn't nothing. Like, not in the sense that I couldn't, but I didn't know how to make myself nut while I was in it. I would just know I'm in this motherfucker. And it would be like, I'll be going for a long time. I just got to stop because, you feel me? You know, parents would come home, people would knock on the door or some shit. Like, you got to jump out windows and shit. Kid shit is different. So we wasn't, it wasn't in that type time. But then it's like, once I got older and then I started, like locking down, it's like, oh, yo, you got like, then you start to deal with women who are in the space of, hold on, before I say this point, my brothers, you do not have to secrete, you know what I'm saying? You do not have to ejaculate every time you have sex. First mind fuck that blew my mind as a kid. Like, it's like, you're not supposed to. I'm going to tell you why you're not supposed to, because it's directly related to your sperm health. But in that time, as I was getting, I was like, yo, women pride themselves on making a man nut. So if you don't nut, she feels bad. What's wrong with me? Ain't nothing wrong with you. It's just, I'm not supposed, like a lot of times we'd be like, yo, I didn't come. I couldn't come. I don't know what was wrong with me. Nothing. You're not supposed to. The purpose of an orgasm is solely to have children. The ejaculation is to have children. The orgasm is for spiritual, mental, and physical things or whatever the case may be. So you can have an orgasm without ejaculating. But the purpose of ejaculation is to produce children. If you're not producing children, don't ejaculate. But we live in a society that condones, yo, bust the fuck off. You feel me? Get the nut. No, you keep the nut. You feel me? That's why it blows my mind when I hear scientists and like, this is why I don't trust. This is why I unplug from that shit. Because everything they say is bullshit. They say masturbation is healthy. Nigga, no, it's not. It's not. This is the reason why now I'm tying myself back into this conversation. Or the point is like, that's why I'm bald now. You feel what I'm saying? I had done so much fucking, and then it's like, I was, like I said, between like 13 and 15, I was cool. No orgasm and shit like that. Cause again, but then it got to where, after 15, 16, bam, every one of them I was hitting and shit. The first time it was pointed out to me, I had just got a haircut. And one of my homies, he was roasting me and shit because I had just got a haircut and shit. And it looked like the barber had, he had nicked me and shit and got my waves. Somebody said, this nigga race car track head, bro. Like, you feel me? He was roasting me, he said, yo, you got a bald spot. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no fucking bald spot, bro. And then when I looked at it, it had a small, but that was irrelevant to me because it grew back. I wasn't tripping. I really just charged it to the game. And I was like, but again, I was doing a lot of fucking. I was always sleepy. Motherfuckers be like, yo, why your eyes low? You high? No, I'm not high, bitch. I'm tired. I was fucking. Like, you feel me? I'm tired. I didn't know that's why I was tired. You feel me? Because I was fucking. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I started to learn. So I was like, when I first noticed it, I was with a girlfriend in undergrad. And I think I had to be like 20. Yeah, I was exactly 20. And I was looking in the mirror and I was like, yo, my fucking hair is thinning. In addition to that, grays. You feel what I'm saying? My barber, like at the same time that this is going on, as my hair is thinning, with her, and he's like, bro, you stressing? You got grays? I'm like, nah, I'm not stressing, bro. He said, yo, you need to stop stressing so much. Again, the coloring of that is tied to zinc and selenium. That's why it depletes. You feel me? That's why it starts depleting. The shit is deep. So it's like, I'm with the girlfriend or whatever. Now, this is what made me not know that it was because we was fucking so much. You know what I'm saying? Because like once we got together, oh man, it was like when we first started having sex and shit, I wasn't busting because that just wasn't what I did. Like it was like every so often but then she was like, oh my gosh, something's wrong with me if I can't do that shit. So every time we were fucking, I was busting off. But now it got to the point where we was fucking 3-4 times a day. Mind you, I'm depleting all of these nutrients. I wasn't taking multivitamins. This goes back to what I was saying is my upbringing. I was always fed, but I was still malnourished. I didn't know anything about vitamins. I didn't know anything about minerals. I didn't know about what my body was deprived of, right? So here I am releasing all of that shit. 3 and 4 times a day, right? And I noticed, I was like, yo, I was 20 years old when I looked in the mirror. I said, yo, my hair is thinning, bro. And because our relationship was so fucked up, I thought it was her. I said, yo, what stress are you putting me through to where my hair is thinning? She was putting me through some stress, but that wasn't why my hair was thinning. My hair was thinning because of my sperm health, because I was fucking so much. My prostate started getting weaker. Different things started to happen and shit. At this point, I can't get the shit back. It's gone. Like, this ain't no, you feel me? The shit already died. When something dies, you can't bring it back to life. So what's left is what, will be popping based off the nutrient content that I now absorb. But that's why my beard grows so thick and shit. But the point of it all is that in those moments, nobody said anything about. And mind you, this is not just, fucking 3 and 4 times a day. This is also moments of, oh, I get horny. Let me rub one out. You feel me? Let me rub one out. The whole conditioning, the reason why porn is so accessible and shit like that, because it now imprints in your mind that every time you fuck, paint the motherfucker with the nut. Let me bust on your booty. Let me do all these other things. These theatrics, all that shit is so fucked up. Because what they're not going to show you is that on the backside of that, these porn stars, they have to overload on all kinds of nutrients, especially zinc and selenium, in order to have a massive nut shot like that. You feel me? To bust off like that. You feel me? When you're not doing it like that, when your sperm health is weak, that's what's going to happen. Nothing's going to come out. You're going to start shooting blanks. You feel what I'm saying? So you can have, and this, now they're getting to the point where, doctors are saying, men's sperm health is so low. Why? Because y'all have allowed it to be that low. Y'all have created a whole system. Y'all don't stop none of the shit that is causing this shit. Why? Because you still function. You feel me? You still want to motherfucker stick your finger in the motherfucker butt to check his prostate rather than tell a motherfucker, this is what's going to keep your prostate healthy, period. And we can't be reactive. We got to be proactive. You feel what I'm saying? We got to know this shit early for ourselves. We got to know zinc, selenium, and we got to know how to keep our testosterone levels on point. You feel what I'm saying? So when all of that shit gets out of whack and we start losing our hair and shit, like now finishing the story that I was on about, my hair thinning out and shit. So by 25, it was already like, there's nothing I can do with it. At this like 25, I was when I, started plant-based and everything like that. So it wasn't like I could have caught it. And that's when I started taking vitamins and nutrients and stuff like seriously and started taking them. It was already too late. The debt had already been paid. It's already done. So, by 27, I just said, fuck it. Cause I ain't about to keep, acting like, what I'm saying? My shit ain't thin. Like the fuck, like that shit is crazy. Like, I remember what the moment that I really just said, fuck it, let me go ahead and get rid of it. Like, cause they had took pictures of when I was in the master's program, whatever, before I quit it. They had took pictures of us at a little master's degree mixer ceremony and shit. And they took an overhead picture. These trifling motherfuckers took an overhead picture, right? I happened to be in the motherfucking picture in the dead center. And I'm like, damn, won't nobody gonna tell me my whole ceiling was missing? Like, the fuck? Like, motherfuckers, I'm like, nah, I'm not about to get no fucking lace front. I'm not about to spray no shit on it, Beijing it all the time. Nah, fuck it, yo. Take it all the way off. Take it. I lost it. There's nothing I can do about that. It's gone. You feel what I'm saying? But all I can do is be proactive for the future to keep what, that's like I said, that's my beard is thick as fuck now. Because I'm like, oh, this shit just grows. Like, you feel me? But it's relied on the nutrients that I'm supposed to have. But it's also tied to my sperm health. You feel me? It's also tied to my sperm health. That is one of the reasons why people always said your hair is very, very important, especially for Black people. Our hair is very, very important to us. You feel what I'm saying? Because our hair indicates a lot of shit about us that we don't know. When men's hair starts thinning, yeah, your prostate's being fucked up and you're being zinc and selenium deprived and your testosterone is going to be off. All of that shit is being affected right now. You feel what I mean? So when it comes to the sperm health, like let me tie it back because I got off talking about, my baldness and shit. But when it comes to the sperm health, in addition to it not being good, we're releasing what we could have. You feel me? We're releasing what we could have. And then releasing it continually and continually and continually. It's depriving because now where is our body taking these nutrients from? Like, really sit and think about that. Where is your body taking your nutrients from? If your nutrients are not abundant, where is your body taking? Look at it like this. Your bank account, your savings account is on zero, right? But you need to pay a bill and you haven't gotten paid yet, right? What you gonna do? You're gonna rely on credit, right? Credit has interest rates. You got to pay the shit back, right? But you're not paying back. I mean, ideally, I would hope this, but a lot of motherfuckers don't pay back exactly what they took out from the credit. You feel me? They pay it back in the monthly payments. The next thing you know, an emergency happens, and shit like that. Then it starts to accumulate. Then you get to a point where you can't pay it back anymore, no matter how much you put into it. No matter how much you pay back, it's staying revolving, it's staying straight, but you're not really hitting on nothing. Same shit with our bodies. You feel me? When we start releasing and having orgasms, an orgasm itself, like when we actually ejaculate, that is the equivalent of releasing that is the equivalent of releasing the nutrient content necessary to run 20 miles. No motherfucker on the face of this earth can run 20 miles. Well, okay, what is it? A half K marathon is 26.5 miles or something like that, right? Who the fuck can run those four? Now, I'm using myself as an example when I was saying I was having sex with a woman 4 times a day, nothing every time. That's 80 fucking miles. Put that shit in context. I'm not running no 80 fucking miles in 2 hours. But we were doing that. Men, we do that. Not even getting into the masturbation part. Oh, you're healthy and shit. I've had so many. When I was young, I used to hear motherfucker, oh, your face breaking out because you ain't nothing. Who the fuck's logic is that? Where did that come from? When acne comes up, it's because you backed up and you need to bust off. No, that has nothing to do with nothing. So imagine this internalization for men hearing that. What about the young boy or the teenage boy who has bad acne? What you think his tissue trail is like? The fuck? You feel what I'm saying? But this is the fucked up reality of what we're taught off some stupid shit. You feel what I'm saying? So that equivalent is like you're depleting your body of that much nutrients. And now you don't even have these nutrients. So now I'm asking again, where's your body pulling them from? It's pulling them from your bones. It's pulling them from your organs. It's pulling from everywhere they're supposed to naturally be. So now when we look at how a physical body, look at when a tree is deprived of its nutrients, it starts to look wilted and withered away. You feel me? Yeah, we get obese. Yeah, we get fat and we gain weight because we eat a lot. We're well fed, but we're malnourished. I don't give a fuck how old we are. I don't give a fuck how good you think you eating. Oh, I'm eating. No, you're eating more. You're not eating better. Just because you can afford to eat more doesn't mean you're eating better because you're still malnourished. Even if you're taking your 1-a-days and shit like that, you're not even getting the 400% the 1-a-day promise you. Why? Because in order to hold that pill together, it needs fillers and binders. So when you take that nutrient in your stomach, you have to take it with food because the pill itself has no flavor to it, has no taste to it. So therefore your body does not have an enzyme that knows to break it down. So you have to cheat the system. You have to already be chewing something and your body has to recognize and create the saliva and everything to make it say it's time to digest. So you have to take it with food. Then when you take it with food, as it digests in your stomach, only 1/3 of those nutrients go to your body. So imagine everything that says 100% on your particular bottle or whatever, you're only getting 33.3%. And of that 33, you can't double up. You can't double up. That's the crazy part. The fillers and binders will fuck you up if you take 2 of those. Check and checkmate. They play the fuck out of you. You feel me? They play the fuck out of you. So when that happens, you taking these 1-a-days, and then the zinc and selenium is so fucking minuscule. If I'm not mistaken, I think for 1-a-day, that their selenium content is, I think 1-a-day might be 0 and zinc is only 25%. 25% divided by 3 is what? It's about 6%. Because like I said, the shit's it's cut down to 1/3 when it's starting to be digested. You're only getting 6% zinc when you're promised 25, when you need 100%. God damn. I'm sorry. That is hilarious to me because it's like numbers don't lie. Everybody, my numbers don't lie, but you don't pay attention to the right numbers that matter. Oh, well, my one a day only gives me 25% zinc. That ain't bad. That's good. How do you know what's good when you need 100%? What the fuck? Where you gonna get the rest of it from? These nuts. Nah, but for real, eating nuts and shit like that, that's gonna give you your zinc and your selenium. You feel what I'm saying? Those trail mix things that had like, because you gotta make your own shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Get you some Brazil nuts, some almonds, cashews and shit, peanuts. Eat them motherfuckers. Eat them motherfuckers. They'll give you your zinc, your selenium, get your dates and your figs. I'm telling you, like, yo, we need to know better. We need to know better, yo, for real. So now mind you, like I said, you take your one a days and you get your, your little 6% of zinc, and your nuts depend on 100% a day in order to produce viable sperm. Sperm is produced because of zinc, like for the most part. Selenium. Selenium is the counterpart to that, because you got to know the mineral relativity chart. Like this shit gets difficult because zinc has to be paired with something, has to be paired with something else. Certain minerals have to be paired together in order to get them right. If they're not paired right, then it's like it'll be off. You'll just be taking, like, when you take a calcium supplement, you need calcium and magnesium in a 1-to-1 ratio, equally bound together. Only thing that already has it set like that is nature. Science can't do it. You'll be taking a whole calcium pill and not be getting the calcium that you need because it's not paired right. You feel me? But certain things go together, like zinc and phosphorus or some shit like that. But only thing that I've ever had that actually puts everything together for me already, CMOS. And in addition to, like, CMOS has 92 and 102 elements, but it has it bound together accordingly to where it can dissociate in your body correctly, right? But anyway, I digress. So as I'm looking at the zinc content and shit, zinc is directly connected to the sperm development, right? And again, this is something I had to learn when I was a forensic biologist. Like, they're like, yo, because semen, get the sperm set. We had to do the Christmas tree test where you can show it, like they said, it responded. The reason why the Christmas tree test worked, because it responded to zinc. Zinc is heavy in the motility and the tails of all of that shit. Like, it's very, very powerful. So in knowing that, we busting off every day, you feel me? Why are we so tired and lethargic? We have no nutrients in our bodies. Tying it back into the menstrual cycles that we have, just because we don't bleed, we have a cycle, the monthly cycle, just like women do. We just don't bleed with our shit. And in having our monthly cycles, what does it do to us? It causes us to lose zinc and selenium and fuck with our testosterone levels. You feel what I'm saying? And all along, the doctors are telling you, come in, get your checkups and all of this shit. Like, I'm all for having a PCP. You feel me? A PCP, not the drug, but, the primary care physician and shit. I'm all for that. But at the same time, your primary care physician should not know a lot more than you know about your motherfucking self. Because at that point, you're depending on them to give you everything that you need. And now you don't know what you need, because they're not going to educate you on what your body needs. They're going to educate you on what's wrong with your body and how we can fix it, not how you can fix the shit. Shit is a game. So it's like, you get, all retroactive and shit. And it's, what am I doing about my prostate? How do I get my prostate in check? Zinc, selenium, and get your testosterone on point, bro. And stop eating so much. Your prostate enlarges because, look, people don't pay attention to. Prostate is a muscle too. It's muscular. It's muscular. The prostate gland is muscular, right? So how do you take now? The prostate sits right around the seminal vesicle, right? Again, the nut nerve, all of that shit is right there. When the prostate enlarges, this is also why motherfuckers be having bladder problems, why you pee so much and shit like that, because that prostate, when it enlarges because it's getting stronger, it's getting more muscular, it's getting more solid. Why is it getting more solid? Because the muscles around it don't work no more. The muscles around it don't work no more. So you have to strengthen your pelvic floor to take the workload off the prostate. It's not difficult. On some real shit, it's really not difficult if you know it. Like, it's basic common sense. Like, if you see a motherfucker burning himself out to like, you got to spot him. You feel what I'm saying? The prostate needs a spot, but the prostate still has to be strong and keep, you know what I'm saying? So it keeps over strengthening itself because the rest of the muscle just watching it work. The muscles that are supposed to be strong. You feel me? Pelvic floor muscles. You feel me? The piriformis muscles. The like pudendal not the pudendal muscle. There's not a pudendal muscle. The pudendal nerve is the one that innervates all of those muscles down there. It just branches off. But you have that whole pelvic floor base. You have the gluteus, like the glutes side. Like niggas need, look, you need to strengthen your ass. Simple and plain. Gluteus maximus, gluteus minimus, gluteus medius. That needs to be strong. Your lower fucking back needs to be strong. Y'all motherfuckers want to just do abs and chest. The fuck for? That's not what's going to keep your nuts healthy. That's not what's going to keep your sperm healthy. That's not what's going to keep you in that space that you need to be in. You feel what I'm saying? That's why motherfucker's stomach be so fucking big. Now, when your stomach is that heavy, naturally, if you was really not an active being and you just stood there, this is why motherfuckers start leaning back and shit, because their extender muscles are like, yo, damn, you fucking heavy up front. You front heavy. Now I got to overcompensate on my back. And now shit, it ain't no different than women with big breasts. Why they used to be like, yo, my back hurts. Wonder why. You feel me? The front is so much, your back muscles aren't strong enough to support your chest. That weight is too much on you. You feel me? You don't think that same shit happens to men? Yes, when your belly sit down that fucking low, you're going to have lower back problems because you're not strengthening your back. But by proxy and by default, if your back was strong enough, your stomach wouldn't be that big. Crazy how the fucking world works. You feel me? Muscles, the workouts to strengthen your lower back. You have Supermans, you have bridges. And again, this is one of the reasons why it's like when we was in our ages doing our fucking, not when we was just like, you feel me? That's why your lower back was strong, because of your stroke. Doing bridges and shit, like a bridge. If you ever did the bridge pose, you know that it's basically a hump, and it's an extended hump. You feel what I'm saying? We used to hump all the time as kids when we was in there, fucking and shit. Like, you feel me? But it strengthens your back. Your gluteus medius, your gluteus minimus, your gluteus maximus, like those muscles need to be strong to help your lower back. Y'all niggas just want to sag and show your ass. Like, the fuck? No, you better stop doing that shit and get you some motherfucking squats in and strengthen, do some Kegels. Find out, like, get you a woman who's Kegling. She'll tell you what it is, what the actual process is. It's just like squeezing your pelvic floor. You squeeze it so much that it strengthens up. And then that helps you with your erection. That helps you avoid your erectile dysfunction. But now, taking it back to the sperm health, you still need nutrients. You can't just be eating shit. You feel me? Henny all day and anything's possible. You drinking Henny. Like, the fuck? Women are talking about, and men, like, you going off the Henny dick. Okay, now you're going to have a baby with fetal alcohol syndrome. What the fuck? That's not cool. You feel me? But all of that ties into the quality of the sperm health. Like, what you're eating does not have nutrients in it. It has calories. You feel me? Some of the shit ain't even supposed to be going together. It don't pair because you don't food combine it right. You feel me? But there's a lot of shit that's tied into it. Again, that's why I started this shit off with my chastisement. You feel me? I still smoke. I gotta quit. That shit's fucking up my sperm right now. But I'm also not in the process of having children or trying to yet. So, you feel me? I ain't gonna say I gotta pass, but you feel me? But I know that that's affecting my sperm health. Fuck everything else that I still taking my sea moss, drinking my bitter herbs, and doing all these other things to keep it on point, making sure I have the nutrients that I'm supposed to have. It's counterproductive if you're still putting fucked up shit in your body. You feel me? I own that shit. But now we all gotta own the shit. Not only own it, but we gotta push it forward. Our boys need to know. When our boys are going through puberty, this should be a default that they understand zinc and selenium off rip and where to get them from. It ain't gonna be hard to get boys to take zinc and selenium. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, especially not plant-based sources. Because, like I said, you either gonna get them from dates, you're gonna get them from shit that looks like nuts. It's crazy how it does that. Like, yo, look at natural figs, look at dates and shit like that. They look like fucking nuts. They look like a nut sack. You feel me? And then you have nuts themselves. They're called nuts. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you have your Brazil nuts, your almonds, your cashews, your peanuts, Y'all know the nuts, pistachios, all kind of nuts, pumpkin seeds. You know, nuts and seeds. It's not just seeds. It's not just nuts. Nuts and seeds. They're both good. Um, what's the little black Jones, man? Because I used to eat them shits all the time with walnuts. I used to make a mix of walnuts, agave, and but what is the seed? It's fucking that shit's gonna come to me. But that shit used to be banging as fuck. It was because I used to use walnuts, agave, and these little black and white seeds. I can't think of what they called right now. Cause I mixed them bitches up and ate it like oatmeal. Like that shit was so fucking good. Oatmeal's another good thing too. But like natural oatmeal, not that instant 1 minute shit. Because oatmeal should not take a minute to cook. Damn, that's gonna get me when I'm trying to chia seeds. That's what the fuck it is. It's chia seeds. So I used to make a mix of walnuts, chia seeds with a little bit of agave. That shit was fucking crack. Like, oh shit. Like that shit is good as fuck. But again, nuts and seeds are good for your nuts and seeds. I swear, bro, I love the universe, man. I love the way shit just it is what it's supposed to be. You feel me? But yeah, getting into that space of and another thing, when you eat nuts, right? When you eat nuts, make sure you soak them for at least 2 hours. This is something that I had to learn. You know what I'm saying? You can eat as many nuts as you want, but I forgot the name of the film, but every nut has a thing around it where the seal has to be broken, so you have to soak it in water in order for that nut to expand and absorb the water, then break the seal, because that seal that's around the almonds, the cashews, all of them, it's indigestible. Your body can't digest it. You feel me? So once you chew it and you bite, there's no enzyme for it. What enzyme comes out is once the nuts are soaked and that film breaks, the enzyme that's released is the protease, which is a protein, which for the protein, then that protease enzyme binds with the protease. That protein is now available to. That protein is not able to be broken down because of the protease enzyme in your body. However, the protease enzyme will not be called for if that film is still around it. So you need to soak your nuts for at least 2 hours. It softens them up and then you're able to eat them. Crazy shit. But again, that helps with your prostate health. That helps with your nuts and your seeds by eating nuts and seeds. You feel me? Pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, start adding those, flax seeds, start adding those to your diet and your regimen. And like I said, if we were teaching our boys this younger, they'll eat it. They'll eat it and simply tell them, hey, look, this is going to help with your muscle mass. Because now, in addition to that, it's going to keep their nuts strong, for one, which is where, they're going to get their nutrients content is going to be bigger. Stop and teach them. Do not teach your sons, you know what I'm saying, that they're like, when you have that sex talk, stop teaching them that they're supposed to bust off every time. Because they're not. Teach them the value of keeping it, how much power they will have as an individual, how much physical power they will have as a man. You feel what I'm saying? They want to be strong. So tell them this is how you be strong. Simple psychology and shit. You feel me? And then as far as the testosterone goes, you feel me? That helps with your muscle mass. That helps keep your hair. You feel me? A lot of us be thinking, oh, my diet is so fucked up. That's why I lost my hair. Nah, I lost my hair because I've been fucking. That's really what it was. I had to come to terms with that shit. The reason why my hair is gone, the reason why my shit is completely like it's never coming back again is because I was fucking. And then when I learned the aspects of where my hair thinned out first, it's like our hair thins out of the same spot. It's the crown of our head and then the little aspect that gives us the golden arches M's. When I started to study that is your intestine. That is your the parts where your the M is, that is where your intestine is damaged, right? Signs of the big gut developing and shit. Your intestines are starting to fuck up. And then the crown is the heart. Men be low-key about to have heart attacks and don't even know it. Our stress is so heavy. And that's why we thin out in those two places, because our heart health is fucked up and our intestinal health is really fucked up, right? You feel what I'm saying? But in addition to that, it becomes so much easier for it to go, because as we have every orgasm, as we release the zinc and selenium and we, let our sperm health deteriorate, the sperm is now drawing on those two places for the most part, which is the hair in our bodies for the most part, to take away, to find the nutrients. It has to pull from somewhere. And it's pulling it from our hair. You feel me? Dead ass is pulling it from our hair. It's crazy how the shit works. Until it ain't got nothing else to pull. Then that's when your body starts to shut down and shit like that. And they can predict, yo, by this age, you're going to be this, that, and the third. Take care of your motherfucking health. Again, you the tree, your fruit needs to grow. It's like you need to be able to produce the right seeds. Take care of your motherfucking seed, your seeds and your nuts. You feel me? Your sperm health is very, very important. Look into understanding your sperm health. Zinc, selenium, very, very important pieces. Know what foods have them. Know where you can get them. You feel me? Don't rely on a fucking one a day. Learn what plant-based sources. Learn what real like because I like to use the plant-based sources for those nutrients simply because they are already designed to be absorbed by my body. Because in all aspects, we're antagonistic to plants. You dig what I'm saying? We're antagonistic to plants. So so it's easy to assimilate what a plant has for us. You feel me? So tying that in and coupling that into everything that we got going on here. In the grand scheme of it all, my brothers, your sperm health is very, very important. You feel what I'm saying? Not only that, controlling your sperm health. So semen retention is important. I had that episode. This is the purpose of semen retention in a deeper aspect, and it's your sperm health. We got to stop releasing all of this shit. Like we'll motherfucking have like smashing 4-5 chicks at a time, busting off multiple times. Yeah, man, I did. Like, no, you're not. You're killing yourself, low key. You're dying. You're taking time off of your life, literally. And they wonder, like, why do men live shorter lives than women? Do the math. Which is crazy when you really think about it, because, like, I'm just going to use this example, then I'm going to wrap this up, right? When we look at how they say women typically live 10 years longer than men. 10 fucking years. 10 fucking years. 10 years is a lot of time. 10 years of separation, right? Women complain more about having no orgasms. Men have orgasms every sexual encounter. Over a lifespan, orgasms themselves can give you 10 extra years of your life. Just good sperm health. Just imagine what you can do. What could you do with 10 extra years in your life? If you want to do that shit if you want those 10 extra years in your life, if you want you want people, or you want your offspring to carry that extra 10 years, like what could you do with that shit? And it's going to start with how well you take care of your motherfucking sperm. And don't forget to take a moment to go get your exclusive merchandise from Just Scenes merch. At Just Scenes, each piece is specifically crafted with positive imagery and symbolism. From the titles and designs to the descriptions, each style gives you something to feel great about. With everything from hoodies and tees to coffee mugs and tote bags, we have something for the entire family. So be sure to get yours today. Find us on Instagram at Just Scenes merch and get your merchandise right now. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I know. I hope that this shit was pause worthy, but I hope you learned something with your palsy head ass. The fuck? This was very, very needed. This was necessary. Like, cause imagine that you losing 10 years of your life and you don't know why. Every motherfucker see, oh, it's because men are stupid. It's because men are reckless. Men do this because men get orgasms far more than women do. So much so that it separates our lives by 10 years. That's crazy as fuck. Women don't get orgasms as much as men do. For one, women don't have sex as much as men because women are, you got to be modest. You got to be this, that, and the third. So women ain't out here fucking. This new generation, I don't know. They might die 20 years before us. This go around, because these hot girl summers and all the shit, these motherfuckers is wild. But anywho, you feel me? As it's been traditionally going for so long, you feel me? Women, they don't have sex. They the time in which they have sex is a lot later. The number of bodies that most women have is a lot less than men and shit like that. And when it's all said and done, they're gonna live longer. People be thinking it's because men are just reckless and we do stupid shit. No, you guys tell us, go sow your royal oats. You got to get out there and experience it so you don't have that temptation when you get married, blah, blah, blah. Why don't women have the same? Why don't women have to do that? Because they get horny too. They supposed to feel what we feel. Why don't they have to be out there, getting dick down and shit to find out how to resist temptation? That don't help me resist temptation. That helps me indulge in it. You feel me? You got to get it out of your system. Get what out of my system? 10 years of fucking life. 10 years of fucking life. That's crazy. That is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. You feel me? That's one of the reasons why I've been celibate for so long. I want my 10 years back. I'm gonna at least try to get my 10 years back as best as I can. No, I'm bullshitting. But it's like I've started to learn the power of, sperm health. Like, you can get a lot of shit done when you actually have the time to do it, when you're not wasting your time just, your ultimate goal was just fucking and, getting the nut and conquering shit. Yeah, man, she did, like, couldn't eat nut. But, like, do more with your life than that. Because that's your life source energy. Your semen and your sperm are your life force energies, bro. Every time you're releasing it, you're not creating shit. The fuck is you doing it for? You feel me? We need to be better. We need to be so much better that our sons are aware of what sex really is. Our sons are aware of what their sperm health really is. You feel me? When I had sex education class, they didn't teach me about sperm health. They just told me, hey, you're going to hit a growth spurt soon and you're going to start getting hair on your balls and then you're going to be able to have orgasms. What's in this orgasm? What is this? Like, what is this going to happen? Like, then I got my first one and shit. And I was like, whoo, this bitch feels good as hell. But nobody told me the power of it. Nobody sat with me and said, look, this has all of this in it. This is the seed that is designed for you to create the orchard that you need. What kind of orchard do you want to have? That's dependent upon what kind of tree you are. You feel what I'm saying? My quality of children is not going to be based off of their mother. I mean, halfway. But for my perspective, I have to look at it like this. I have the seed, or whatever the case may be. And I'm going to talk about a different part of this, but I have the seed, right? I need to know that I'm putting it in the right soil. But at the same time, I just can't rely on the soil to be what makes my seed right. What makes my seed grow into the tree that produces exactly what I just produced. You feel what I mean? Because what a lot of people don't know and pay attention to, and this is what pisses me off too. Well, I get it though, because ignorance is not bliss, it's evil. But if you don't know, you don't know. So when they be like, the man is the seed, the seed has to, the woman chooses the baby. In all aspects of life, the woman chooses the baby, not us. This ain't no black woman is God type shit. This is literal fucking biology, bro. The woman chooses the baby. So much so that she, when she ovulates and she has her egg for the month, if that egg is fertilized, it is because she chose it. Now, I didn't know she's meditating. She went down and said, I want to have this, whatever the case may be. But it's like when the ejaculation penetrates the vagina, right? Off rip, as a sperm swim, all of the bad sperm cells that aren't swimming as fast or not swimming according, they're neutralized by the vaginal juices. Off rip, cutting them off. Bing, bing, bing. Those who make it along the path is just neutralizing all of the bad sperm. All of the bad sperm, only allowing the high quality sperm to get closer and closer and closer and closer, right? The powerful part, and this is what a lot of people you got to be in some microscopic shit to actually see the process happen. The shit is dope. But when the sperm cell reaches the egg, I don't know why they be teaching this shit. Because in middle school and high school, I learned that the sperm cell hits the egg and then it, shatters it open or some shit like that. And then, it's no, the egg has to allow the sperm in. That's where shit changed for me. I was like, oh shit, it's really not on us that allow pregnancy to happen. It's not us. We just submit the semen and shit, but it's the egg that says, this is the best sperm cell. Think about that. We shoot a couple million at a time, but only one is allowed to make it that far. And then it has to be allowed in. Because around the egg, there's this thing called the zona pellucida, right? So within the zona pellucida, in that moment, I say it's a good, out of all of the ones that make it, there's about 10 to 15 that surround the zona pellucida, but none of them can penetrate the barrier. But the one that is able to penetrate the barrier is because the zona pellucida starts to deteriorate and allows that sperm cell in. The other ones die. The other ones are literally disintegrated along the way. But once the zona pellucida lets that sperm cell in, it doesn't even let the sperm cell in. The zona pellucida, what it does is it cracks the acrosomal cap, which is the top of the sperm cell, and it literally breaks the sperm cell open just to take the the genetic material in the motherfucker. The sperm cell never penetrates the egg. Never. Never. The acrosomal cap is cracked, the tail cuts off and all of that shit, and then it disintegrates. And then it just allows the nutrients into the not the nutrients. Well, it is nutrients too, but it allows the genetic material into the egg cell. And once it's in the egg cell, then it triggers what's called meiosis 2. And meiosis 2 is when the egg cell transforms into the baby, into the fetus. So it's not on us, but the health is on us. We still got to make sure our sperm health is on point, because now it's like they're telling us that, yo, men are not like, they're putting the shit under petri dishes and shit, and the sperm ain't swimming. It's just stuck. It's like, so imagine that, bro. Imagine that's the quality of your sperm. The egg has to choose out of the best quality of low quality. Ain't that some shit? It's like, no funny shit. We're birthing children, low key. And this is no slight to the children because they ain't got no control over this shit. But we're birthing children who we brag about being the tallest midgets. No funny shit. But if the sperm quality is what you have, little people, my bad. But if the sperm quality is that low and the egg cell and the vagina accepts the best of the quality that's there, but this is the quality that you have, and it chose the best of that, damn, homie. You were supposed to prevent that. As the man, you were supposed to be on point with that. You were supposed to make sure your sperm health was on point. So from this point forward, we got to make sure our sperm health is on point. It's not just about semen retention and holding. Like, if you want to bust, do what you do. But make sure you compensate. Make sure you put the right nutrients in your body. Take multivitamins, take herbs, and take the right shit that charges your body and recharges it. You need iron, you need zinc, you need all these things. Specifically find things and get zinc and selenium in your motherfucking body. If you already lost your hair, you're not getting it back. Trust me, I know. I got the beard and shit, but don't get me wrong. I'm not growing back what I lost already. You feel me? But I now know what I lost it from. It wasn't genetic. It wasn't like, the habit was genetic. When I say the habit was genetic, that's what was genetic. It wasn't the fact that, it's like, no, my father was a whorebag. You feel me? Right? He was fucking, you know what I'm saying? He was always fucking off because that's what men are taught to do. You know what I'm saying? That's just what our culture is. You know what I'm saying? If you be the ladies' man, you get hoes. You do, like, you know what I'm saying? And you get them. But then it's like, once you start to learn, the value of your sperm health, you take it more serious. You feel me? Take your sperm health like you take your physical health. Take your physical health like you take your mental health. Take your mental health like you take your spiritual health. A nigga need his nuts. Don't shoot me in my nuts. I need my nuts. Yes, you do. You feel me? And your nuts and seed, the health of your nuts and seed is going to be dependent. It's going to be very contingent on and dependent upon nuts and seeds. Add them to your diet. You feel me? Soak the motherfucking nuts first, then eat them. And again, if you still saying pause, you do not need to procreate. Let your sperm health stay where it's at. You feel me? This episode right here is definitely my task to quit smoking, because there's no way in hell I can have all of this advocation of everything else and still smoke. You feel me? So I got to figure out and work something out on me. Anywho. But yeah, that's the challenge, man. Let's make sure our sperm health is on point. By proxy, if your sperm health is on point, your physical health is on point. There's no way around that shit. You feel me? Do your Kegels, make sure your pelvic floor is strong. That's how you can, help with erectile dysfunction, help reduce your prostate and all of that shit. Like, Focus on being proactive. Stop relying on these doctors. We know what these doctors do now. There's no mystery about the shit. Motherfuckers was shocked when I left med school. Now, with this COVID shit, with all this shit, they're seeing what the fuck the doctor side is like. They don't do shit but run. They ain't nothing but pushers for the pharmaceutical companies. That's it. That's it. You feel me? They fucking block runners, yo. That's all. I'm saying, nah. It was easy for me to identify because I grew up in a trap. I knew who was running the game. I knew who was running the base. I knew who was, you feel me? This is the same system, same fucking setup. You feel me? That's all they doing. And now people are starting to see that. But now watch, pay attention to the shit, how they, oh, you need X, Y, and Z for your, come get your prostate checked when you're 50. You wouldn't need your prostate checked if your shit stayed in point. Know your fucking body, man. You feel me? Look into menstrual cycles too, as men. Because your chances are those moments once a month when it's you and your lady going back and forth, it ain't just her cycle that's triggering y'all. It's yours too. when y'all arguing and shit, and you just want to shake the shit out of her, yeah, your cycle on too, motherfucker. And while she's losing iron and calcium, your ass is losing selenium and zinc. And her estrogen is going all out of whack, and your testosterone is going all out of whack. And you two motherfuckers can't be in the same spot. Because just like how women's cycles align when they live together, they've been together for a decent amount of time, men's cycles align when they've been together for a long time. And also, your cycle aligns with your counterpart. Yeah. This shit get deep, but that's a conversation for itself. I'll probably say that for a little later, but I'm going to go ahead and end it there. My brothers, take care of your sperm health. You feel me? I gave you some resources. You know how I always say, dead horses in water. Dead horses in water. What I mean by that is I'm not about to beat a dead horse, and you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So put it all together. Dead horses in water. You know what? I think that might be a merch. That might be a new design that I'm going to add to the clothing spot. Dead horses in water. Only y'all gonna get it though. You feel me, Rad? What is dead horses in water? Bitch, get the fuck out of my face. But yeah, man. Take care of your sperm health, my brothers. It is time. It is time. It's like, yo, we can no longer decline. Like, yo, we gotta keep rising, yo. We gotta keep getting better. This shit is getting hell. Like, people be thinking just the fertility rate is on women. It's not. It's not, because a lot of women that are actually there's women that are very fucking fertile, but they're not able to have babies by certain men or whatever the case may be. Now let's take this back to what I was talking about the egg being what chooses sperm. There's women who can have sex with a man 17 times and never have a baby by him, orgasms and everything, and be like, it must be something. I might be infertile to, like, and they can go have the sex with the very next man and end up pregnant right then. Because that sperm was allowed by the egg. Chances are sometimes sperm is rejected. It's not infertile in the sense of y'all bodies don't collaborate. Sometimes y'all might not be compatible enough spiritually, physically, mentally, biologically to actually have children. And the egg will stop that shit. You really think that, look at it from this perspective, and I'm going to end it up, right? Dudes be thinking, oh, she can't have babies or whatever the case may be sometimes. Chances are, if you'll know if you can actually have her baby or you can get her pregnant, if by how you have sex with her. If your moment of having sex with her vagina is tight all the time, if you never just fall in it, chances are, high chance, high probability, you're not going to be able to have a baby with her. If her vagina doesn't want your penis in it, what do you think about her cell? How you think her cell is going to respond to your cell? As above, so below. As within, so without. And I'm going to end it there. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And my brothers, from henceforward, we now need to set our sons up to know the value of sperm health early. This is not a game. This is not a game. This next generation of boys, masculinity is what they're going to need. The actual health of the full body is what they're going to need. We need to teach them. They need us. Their mothers can't do this shit. They need us, but they need us on a deeper level. You feel me? We need to know a lot more than we've been giving them, and stop relying on people that we know is our enemy, or relying on people who don't have the wherewithal to teach our boys the right way. We need to teach them. Stop having them out here fucking for nothing and doing all this crazy shit and fucking having babies at a young age for too quick and not being able to know anything else about it. Stop that shit. Teach them sperm health. All aspects of sperm health. You feel me? What nutrients it needs. And study sperm yourself. Learn what the fuck, like, because when you study sperm, you know what your body needs. Because you have sperm, motherfucker. Stop being ignorant. Stop choosing to be ignorant about the shit that you do. Stop choosing to be ignorant about your life and about the very vessel that you've been with your entire life, and teach the babies and the boys to stop doing it too. So I'm gonna leave it there. That's that. I'm gonna leave it there before I go into another one. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm gonna see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.